Okay, good evening, everybody. As we came to the close of Yom HaMiyuchis, and we're starting now the first of the Shloisha Simei Agbala, what better time to learn Torah and to have in mind to be Mekayim the mitzvah v'dibarta bam in Achana for the Yom Tov of Shavuos. I saw that the Mishpacha has a interview with the Mukacher Rebbe, and I glanced at it, and the Mukacher Rebbe was talking about the special inyan of Hachana for Shavuos, which is not mentioned by any of the other Yom Tovim. So, of course, the best way to prepare for Kabbalah Torah is by learning Torah, and we do so with great joy. We're sponsored in this tour through Shavuos by A.B. Spry, L'Refuah Shlema for Torah Rosa Bas Hinda, and for great Sivugim for their daughter and grandchildren. We're also sponsored by Shelley Zeitlin for the Refuah Shlema of Moshe Meir ben Esther Fadel and Shimon ben Sarah Miriam, and for his children's schus, Eli, Orit, and Ora. We also sponsored anonymously for the spiritual, emotional, and physical protection for Yeshua Menachem Mendel, Ben Bela, Shendel, Rivka. So we are holding by Omar Rava, which is 6 lines from the bottom of Daf Chav Zayin Amud Beis, 6 lines from the bottom of Daf Chav Zayin Amud Beis. Omar Rava, Nishbar al Kikar, if Marshall, I just picked him out of the perennial hat. Look at this, he's eating a lollipop. The Nishbar al Kikar, if Marshall swore that he won't eat a bread, and v'achla, and he ate it. Now remember, we said that shvur shaloi oichlena means not to eat the whole loaf. Shvur shaloi achal means that he won't eat kazayas of it. So nishbar al kikar v'achla, im shayir mimena kazayas, if there's still left from it a kazayas, nishal aleha, he could go to the chacham, be matter it, and then he'll be matter retroactively also what he ate, so that he won't get malchus, and he'll get away with malchus. What a sneak! However, if achla kula, if he ate all of it, it's for fallen. He can't be shoyel haTorah anymore. Nothing is left. Ein nishal aleha. Then he can't be matin and eder. Okay. Amalei Ravacha Breder Ravashi. Well, I don't really get this. It sounds good, but I got a problem with this. Heichi dummy. What's the case? Ida Amar Shaloi Eichel. If he said Shaloi Eichel, then Mikazayas Kama of Daily Isurei. Then once he ate a Kazayas, he did the Isser, and therefore that part is finished. How could he be matter that part? And Ida Amar Shaloi Eichlena, if he said that he's not going to eat the whole loaf, so then Mayer your Kazayas, why is it only if there's left the Kazayas? Afilu Kol Shunami, even if there's left just a little bit of the loaf, it has significance, because until he eats that little bit, he wasn't over the Isser. So then he should be able to be matter it as long as there's a very little bit left. So the Gemara says, either it's talking about where Marshall said, I won't eat, which means I won't even eat a kazayas, or I won't eat the whole thing. So although he said shaloi eichel, meaning that I won't eat even a kazayas of it, and therefore once he ate a kazayas, that issa was already done, but since there's a kazayas left, migo de mahanyule she'ela kazayas basra, since the haTorah what by a chacham helps for the latter kazayas, it also helps on the kazayas that he ate. That's one possibility. The another possibility is that Marshall swore that he won't eat it. Eat it means the whole thing. However, it's the opinion of Rava Ishayir Kazayas, if there's still left the Kazayas, that's a choshev amount to be shoyal atara. Choshev li'itshulei alei. V'ilai, but if not, loy choshev li'itshulei alei. Now, of course, Tosfos asks over here on Rashi's Pshat, but if he's not over, unless he eats the whole thing, how could you say a little bit amount is not choshev? It makes the difference between whether he's going to be over the Yisr or not. Even so, Rashi holds that Hatorah is different. To be Shal Hatorah, there has to be a share of a Kazayas. If there's no share of a Kazayas, Rava holds that you can't be Mater. And here we have joining us the youngest person in the share, little Keneal, and good to have you. And Stephen Holtzman is just joining us in as we have now 26 Zoomers, the Yud Kei Vav Kei, with the 27th one just coming in, which means that it's already time for me to do my menschliche duties of welcoming everybody as we welcome in Eddie Chazan, who is surprisingly not mobile. Even Eddie, before Shavuos, he stops being under the run. Saba and Irving Fishbaum and Dov Solkowitz and A.B. Spry. And good to see you, A.B., Dr. Guy, Shalom Fogel, Chaim Lerner, Shimon Klein, Mel Zachter, and Barry Cement, Yaakov Warman, Yitzi Fuchs, I think that's Menachem Umansky, two Keneals. Two Keneals are better than one. Shelley Zeitlin, Marshall Castle, one is enough. Rabbi Kranz, Mo Kushner, Nachman Chapler, Ruvain Pollack, Michal, Stephen Holtzman, Yitzi Muller, Moshe Lehman, Yeshua Shmuel Eisenberg, Abe Arbach, and we have here in the shul Gedalia Engel at his post, and Chaim Kramer, Ruvain Shanit. So now, the Gemara is...
Can I ask something on what we said about if he could be matzah neder on what he did, then how is it ever that a person brings the carbon? He just matzah neder, and then he won't have to bring the carbon.
And if there's a way to be matzah neder, they might not be matzah. He has to have a good hatara. Now, Meisvei.
Around all these things, Rabbi Kranz. I know my way around.
7 lines from the top of Daf Chav Ches Amud Aleph. Koyach. Meisvei. And by the way, just in case, I know people want to look forward to good things, we are learning 2 blot tonight. And then we're going to also have for the Shabbos table. So we have a full evening here at the Agudas Yisrael of Fairways Lakewood. Meisvei.
Get your hot dogs. We're going to need them.
Meisvei. As Ben Zion Cohn just joined us for our 29th Zoomer of the evening. Meisvei. Misha Nodar Shtei Naziris. Marshall accepted upon himself 2 periods of Naziris, that's 30 and then another 30. Omana Rishaina, he counted the first 30, V'hifresh alei carbon, he separated a carbon, V'acha kach nishal ala Rishaina, he then asked Hatorah to remove the first Naziris, so then also lo shniya b'Rishaina. Then the second one counts for the first one. So the question is, we just said that if the first Naziris, if the first Kazayas is gone, then you can't be Shoyal Torah on it anymore because it's gone. So here, how could you be Shoyal Torah? You already finished the Naziris. Says the Gemara, he didn't bring the carbon yet. So since he didn't bring the carbon yet, the Naziris wasn't finished. V'atanya keeper, that even if he did bring the carbon, he could still be shayel atara. Says the Gemara, b'shaloi gilach. It's talking about where he didn't shave yet. After Nazirus, you have to shave the hair, and the hair goes and is burnt under the dud, under the vat of the shlamim. Here, Marshall didn't shave yet. Rebbe Eliezer, that the shaving is important. Rebbe Eliezer, damer taglachas ma'akva, that unless you shave, you're not ready to drink wine. But Tanya Gilach, it says that he could be materit even after he shaves. Amar Rav Ashi, so now Rav Ashi says a very, very interesting svara. Amar Rav Ashi, Naziris Karamis. In this case, what's stopping Marshall from having fulfilled his second Naziris? The fact that the first Naziris is here. Because otherwise, as we welcome in Naftali Jablin for our 30th Zoomer of the evening, because otherwise his second Naziris would have been fulfilled. So as long as the first Naziris is there, the second Naziris can't be chal. And therefore that's why the first Naziris is considered to still have an identity. Let's see it inside. Amar Rav Ashi Naziris karamis, mi garam l'shniya shaloi tachel. What causes the second one not to devolve? Rishayna. And therefore, the Eina. And if he's materit, then it's not going to be there. And then the second one could be chal. It's a very hard svara. Very hard svara. Ameimer says, afilu achal kula. Even if Marshall ate the whole loaf, nishal aleh. Why? Because if he ate it unwittingly, mechusar carbon. He didn't bring the carbon yet. So he could still be materit. And Iba mazid, and if he did it willfully, as Marshall will, as we welcome in Dr. Udell, 31st Zoomer of the evening. Says the Gemara, and really, it's really heartwarming to have so many people learning with us. It's a very busy time, you know. It's a very busy time of the year, preparing for Yom Tov and everything, and the people are sleeping extra in order to stay up in the night on Shavuos. So it's very good to have everybody here with us. The Gemara says, and if Marshall did it on purpose, which is Marshall's way, then he's mechusar malchus. He's lacking being flogged, so he should be able to be materit for that reason, as I told Rabbi Krantz. Aval kaftu ala amid, but if they already bound him on the post, like Shmuel kaftu ala amid, if they bound him on the post, v'rotz mebezdin, and he runs out of bezdin potter. So it seems to be once they bound him on the post, that's enough because he is demeaned. Says the Gemara, but that's not so. It's not the binding him on the post that is the demeaning thing that he fulfills v'nikla achicha le'necha. It's the running from bezdin. V'lohi hasam rotz. Hacha le'rotz, if they just bound him on the post, he didn't yet fulfill being flogged, so he could still be matir the shvua.
What is it again that when he runs away, he's being humiliated?
Yes. He's running for his life.
So that's
Amar Rava, 4 lines from the bottom of Chav Chesam and Aleph, just getting underway here on a Thursday evening, the first evening of the Shloshim Yemei Agbala, where Klal Yisrael prepared for Kabbalas HaTorah. Amar Rava, Shvua Shaloi Eichel Kikirzu Im Achalzu. Now here Marshall is playing games. He says, a shvua that I won't eat this Frankfurter bun, im eichel zu, if I eat this bagel. Again, he says, I swear that I won't have this Frankfurter bun if I eat this bagel. The achal eser rishayna, here rishayna means that which triggers the oath. So achal eser rishayna b'shageg, if he eats the bagel unwittingly, vashniya b'meizid, and he eats the second one willfully, potter. The reason is because you cannot activate a condition unless you had in mind that it was a condition. If you forgot that it was a trigger, then the oath is not activated. So again, if he says, if I eat the bagel, I'm forbidden to have this Frankfurter bun. If he eats the bagel b'shogeg, forgetting that it was the trigger, and then eats the Frankfurter bun b'mezid, he's potter. He doesn't get malchus because it wasn't triggered, because it can't be triggered b'shogeg. Rishayna b'mezid, but if he eats the bagel on purpose to trigger the vow on the Frankfurter bun, ushniya b'shogeg, and then he forgets and he has the Frankfurter bun, then he's going to be chayiv a carbon oil of a yared, because he activated the shvua and he's chayiv a carbon oil of a yared. Shteyem b'shogeg potter. If he forgot both with the Frankfurter bun and the bagel, since he forgot with the bagel, you can't trigger it with a shogeg, so he's potter. Shteyem b'mezid, if he did them both b'mezid, then here's the question. It depends. If he ate the bagel first, so now he triggered the vow. If he then ate the Frankfurter, we beat him 39 lashes, really loud. And it's Barry, who's right on top of him, that gives him the lashes. And, Barry believes on holding it with one hand and hitting him with all his strength. It's with all of the pitchaklach. Now.
Barry, get off of me.
Now, after 39, he will. However, achle li'isura, if he ate the Frankfurter bun first, v'hadar achle l'tanai, and then he had the bagel. So here, what would the two Adam, what would Barry and Shalom tell Marshall when he's eating the Frankfurter bun? They can't tell him, if you eat it, you're going to get malchus, because he didn't activate yet, he didn't have the bagel. They could only give him asra suffix, that, if you have the bagel, then you're going to get malchus because you ate this Frankfurter bun. So then it depends whether asra suffix is a good asra or not. So achle li'isura, if he ate the Frankfurter bun first, v'hadar achle l'tanai, and then he ate the bagel, so pluk to the Rabbi Yechon Reish Lakish, l'mandi yam asra suffix shma asra. If you hold asra suffix is a good asra, chayiv. L'mandi yam alav shma asra potter. Okay, now this is a very difficult case. And again, if you find this hard, completely blame Marshall. There's no question about it. I mean, it's completely. They got to be out of his mind to do this. He has over here the bagel and the Frankfurter. Tolon zu bezu. He says, loy oichel zu im oichel zu. I won't eat the frank if I eat the bagel. And loy oichel zu, and I won't eat the bagel im oichel zu, if I eat the frank. So again, he says, if I eat the bagel, I won't eat the frank. And if I eat the frank, I won't eat the bagel. Again, it says, if I eat the bagel, it's a shvur that I shouldn't eat the frank. If I eat the frank, it's a shvur that I won't eat the bagel. Right? So now, let's see what's the score.
But that can't be either way. You can never have it. It would be a shvur shog. I mean, you can't have such a shvur.
No, if he doesn't do anything, then nothing is activated. That's no problem. Just all he has to do is keep his mouth shut. That's the problem.
He can eat one, he just can't eat.
Huh?
He can eat one, he just can't eat the other.
Correct. he could have the bagel, and that's fine. If he has the bagel, or if he has the frank, that's also fine.
Each one, right? Okay.
Right? So, im oichel zu v'achal zu, im oichel zu.
That's what the
Yeah.
previous one.
No.
Well,
Talon zu bezu, lo yoichel zu im oichel zu, lo yoichel zu im oichel zu. So now, v'achal zu, what Marshall does over here is he eats the bagel bizdoin atzma, remembering that the bagel might be forbidden by a shvua. But ubeshigagas chaverta, but he forgot that it was a trigger for the frankfurter. Again, he eats the bagel knowing that it might be forbidden, but he forgot that it was a trigger for the frank. And then v'zu bizdoin atzma, then he eats the frankfurter bun, knowing that it was forbidden with a trigger, but it was shigigas chaverta, but he forgets that it's a trigger to activate the bagel. So in this case, Marshall is putter from anything. Because remember, you cannot activate a shvua if you forgot that it was a condition. So if you forgot that it was a condition, you cannot activate anything. So here, both the times he had the trigger, he forgot that it was a trigger. And therefore, even though each of the times he ate the target, he remembered, but since when he made the trigger, he forgot that it was a trigger, you're going to be potter. Is that clear? No? Okay.
why does he have to say it twice?
Why does that have to say what twice?
He ate the bagel, he remembered the bagel might be a trigger, he forgot that the bun.
He didn't remember trigger. When he had the bagel, he remembered that it could be that it was forbidden,
Right.
but he forgot that it was triggering something else.
Well, why don't you just stop there? Why do you have to go back and say, what's a kiddush to say the opposite?
The opposite is because if he would have ate the frank, knowing it was a trigger for the bagel, then he would be chayv a carbon on the bagel. Because then he triggered the bagel, and the bagel was b'shaygeg, or if it was b'mezid, then he would be chayv malchus. So both.
Similar to the first case. It's similar to the first case. It's either or now.
We're not finished. This is the first case. Let's go further. If that's your only problem, that it's similar to the first case, you're doing fine. Now, let's get the next case. Zu b'shigiges atzma u'b'zdayin chaverta. He ate the bagel, forgetting that it might be forbidden because of another condition. But he remembers that it's a trigger that if he eats the bagel, the frankfurter bun is forbidden. V'zu b'shigiges atzma. Then he eats the frankfurter bun, forgetting about that it was activated, but he had in mind to trigger the bagel with the frankfurter bun, chayiv. Now, here it's obvious that for eating the frankfurter, he's chayiv a carbon. Why? Because when he had the bagel, it although he forgot that the bagel might be triggered by something, he did have in mind that it activates the frankfurter. Then when he ate the frankfurter, he forgot that it was triggered. So that's a classic case where he's chayv a carbon oil v'yorek. Right? Because he ate the bagel bizdoin chaverta, remembering that it activates the frankfurter. Then when he ate the frankfurter, it's b'shigigas atzma, so he forgot that it was activated. So, but it had a shvua. He forgot, so that's a classic case of carbon oil v'yorek. So he's chayiv. Shteyen b'shogeg. This is obvious. If he ate both the bagel and the frankfurter bun, forgetting about everything, so then it wasn't activated. The condition wasn't activated because you can't activate a condition without intent. So potter. Shteyen b'mezid. If he did them both b'mezid, so that's simple. If he did them both b'mezid, so ashniya mechayiv. Since when he ate the bagel, he had in mind to activate the frankfurter bun, then when he eats the frankfurter bun, he's going to get lashes. But when he ate the bagel, he didn't know if he would activate the bagel with the frankfurter bun. So they can't tell him it now. If you eat the bagel, you're definitely going to get malchus because he didn't activate it yet with the frankfurter bun. So that would be asra safek. So that would be ashniya mechayiv. On the second one, he's chayiv because when he eats the frankfurter bun, he had activated it by eating the bagel. Arishaina, but for eating the bagel, that's only dependent if later he would eat the frankfurter bun, b'mezid. So that's pluk the Rabbi Yochanan Reish Lakish with Hasra Safek. So Amar Rav Mari, Afanan Namitani. Rav Mari says that we also learned this idea in Nedarim. This is a sugya in Nedarim. Let's see it inside. We'll learn that if you don't have intent when you do the trigger, it doesn't count. So Amar Rav Mari, and remember we're learning to be mekayim the mitzvah of dibar tabam. What better way to prepare for the Yom Tov of Shavuos? So Amar Rav Mari, Afanam Nami Tanina, Nidrei Shkogas. There's different things. There's Nidrei Zeruzin, Nidarim of encouragement, Nidrei Havai, Nidarim of exaggeration. So it says Nidrei Shkogas, a neder in error. Ketzad. Kainem imachalti vim shasisi. If he says, let these fruits be forbidden if I ate today or if I drank. Now, at the time, he forgot that he ate or drank. V'nizka she'achal v'shas. But he remembered that he ate and drank later. But since he didn't remember at the time, so without thought, you cannot activate the neder. Or, sha'ani oichel, sha'ani shaisa, not sha'ani, will be go sha'ani. Sha'ani oichel, sha'ani shaisa, that the fruit should be forbidden if I eat and if I drink. And shachach v'achal v'shasa, he forgot that it was a trigger, and he ate and he drank, mutter. V'tani Allah kishem shenidrei shkagais mutarin, because you can activate a neder without intent. Kach shvuos shkagais mutaris, like we just learned. Now, Eifa Tani Shavuos Bei Rabbah. Eifa taught Masechta Shavuos in the Academy of Rabbah. Pagabe Avimi Achva, so he was met by Avimi, his brother. Amalei Shavuos Shelo Yachalti, Shavuos Shelo Yachalti Mao. What's the din if he says, I swear that I didn't eat? I swear that I didn't eat. So this is a trick question, because it sounds like Ein Shvuah Chalal Shvuah. It's a trick question. Amalei Ein Achai V'Lachas. So his brother told him it's a mistake, because as soon as you say Shavuos Shelo Yachalti, you're over the Shvuah. Then when you say Shavuos Shelo Yachalti, you're over the Shvuah again. Amalei Ishtabashta. You're making a mistake. Hariyotze Shvuah L'Shaker. As soon as you said Shavuos Shelo Yachalti, you get Malchus for Shavuos Sheker. Then when you say Shavuos Shelo Yachalti, you get another Malchus. Then he asked him, this is such an ingenious question, doesn't need my askama. This is pure Marshall. Marshall's law. Shvuah Shelo Eichel Tesha. He says, I swear that I won't have 9 dates. And then he says, I swear that I won't have 10 dates. Mao. So here again, this is a trick question, because Aifa figures that's 2 separate shvuos. One is about 9, one is about 10, so they're both chal. Chayav al kol achas v'achas. So again, his brother told him, again you're making an error. Amalei ishtabashta. Got to feel very bad for Aifa over here. You're making an error. Why are you making an error? Because when you say that you won't eat 9, then you can't eat 10. Because in order to eat 10, you're going to have to eat 9. So you're nishba levatel es mitzvah, and therefore that shvuah is not chal. So then he said to him a third question. Marshall says a shvuah that I won't eat 10, and then he says a shvuah that I won't eat 9. That what's the din there? So Aifa said, well, ein achai v'lachas. So again he says, no. Amalei, Marshall could see this happening to him. Amalei ishtabashta. Because when Marshall says he swore that he won't have 10, just 10 he won't have, but he could have 9. So then when he swears that he won't have 9, that's a second shvuah. Because Esru d'layachal, hateshem ya'achal. Boy, really, this is really a tongue twister. It's really interesting.
Brain twister.
A brain twister. Amar Abaya. So Abaya says, Zimnan de mishkachas lahad de eifa. There is a time where we could say, like eifa. In other words, we could say, like eifa's decision. What's that case? Kidamar. Like a situation of my master, Rabbah. The Amar Rabbah, listen to this case. Shmuah shaloi oichel te'enim v'anov. Here, Marshall swears not to have figs and grapes. The chaz of Amar shmuah shaloi oichel te'enim. And then he says, I swear not to have figs. Right? V'ochel te'enim. He ate figs. V'hifrish carbon. And then after he ate the figs, he separated a carbon. Right? Because when he ate figs, he was over the second shvuah. Because remember, the second shvuah was chal, because when he said, I won't eat te'enim and an oven, that implies he only won't eat it both. But he could eat one. Then when he swears not to eat figs, then he broke the second shvuah. He separated a carbon. and then he just ate grapes. So for eating the grapes, he's not chayiv. Havelu anovim chatzi shir, because when he ate the grapes, that's only part of the shvua of the grapes and the figs. Ba'chatzi shir lo mechayev carbon, and on a half a shir, you're not chayev a carbon. So how would this be by the figs? Hakanami going to Amar Shvua Shaloi Eichel Eser. He says, I swear I won't have 10. The Chaz of Amar Shvua Shaloi Eichel Tesha, and then he swore that he won't have 9. The Eichel Tesha v'hifresh carbon. He separated. Thank you. He separated 9. He ate 9 and he separated a carbon. And then he ate a 10th one. No, 10th one, it doesn't combine with the 9, because the 9, he already separated a carbon for being over the second shvua. Now when he ate the 10th one, that's only one of the shvua of not to eat 10. And then v'chatzi shir loy mechayev. Now we're just going to pause a moment to turn over the tape here.